Hey Curious! Are you ready to see how time has treated our favorite characters? We're talking about everyone from Peter Parker to the Green Goblin and even that lovable newspaper editor J. Jonah Jameson. We'll take a trip down memory lane with some of the most iconic scenes from the movie, and then fast forward to present day to see how our heroes and villains have changed. So sit back, relax, and let's get ready to sling some webs. Willem Dafoe played the iconic Norman Osborn, also known as the Green Goblin. Dafoe's portrayal of the wealthy industrialist and scientist who transforms into a psychotic villain is widely regarded as one of the standout performances in the movie. Osborn is portrayed as a driven and ambitious man who is struggling to save his company. However, his experiments with a dangerous chemical compound ultimately lead to his transformation into the Green Goblin and his descent into madness. Elizabeth Banks played the role of Betty Brant, a minor character in the movie, serving as the receptionist at the Daily Bugle, where Peter Parker works as a freelance photographer. Banks' portrayal of Betty is brief but impactful. She captures Betty's no-nonsense attitude and sharp wit, as well as her genuine concern for Peter's well-being. Though her role is relatively small, Banks brings a sense of energy and presence to the character, making Betty a memorable part of the film. James Franco played the role of Harry Osborn. Harry is Peter Parker's best friend, and the son of Norman Osborn, who becomes the Green Goblin. He brings a certain vulnerability to the role, making Harry a sympathetic character despite his occasional arrogance and temper. As the film progresses, Harry's relationship with Peter becomes strained, as he becomes increasingly resentful of Peter's close relationship with Mary Jane, whom Harry is also attracted to. Cliff Robertson played the role of the beloved Ben Parker, Peter Parker's uncle, and serves as a mentor and father figure to Peter. Robertson's portrayal of Ben is heartwarming and sincere, as he imparts wisdom and life lessons to Peter throughout the film. One of the most memorable moments in the film involves Ben's conversation with Peter about the importance of responsibility, which includes one of the most iconic lines in superhero movie history: "With great power comes great responsibility." Rosemary Harris portrayed the sweet May Parker, Peter Parker's aunt, who serves as a source of support and guidance for him throughout the film. Harris's portrayal of May is heartwarming and endearing, as she embodies the role of a loving and caring aunt with grace and charm. She brings a certain warmth and humanity to the character, making May a beloved figure among fans of the movie. Throughout the film, May is portrayed as a resilient and compassionate woman who remains optimistic in the face of adversity. J.K. Simmons played the role of J. Jonah Jameson, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Bugle, and serves as a foil to Peter Parker throughout the film. Simmons' portrayal of Jameson is one of the most memorable aspects of the movie, as he captures the character's brash and abrasive personality with aplomb. Jameson is portrayed as a stubborn and unyielding newspaperman, who is fiercely protective of his publication and its reputation. Simmons made Jameson one of the most entertaining characters in the movie. Joe Manganiello was the face of Flash Thompson, a high school bully who torments Peter Parker throughout the film. He brings a certain physicality and intensity to the role, making Flash a formidable adversary for Peter, at least in the beginning. Flash is portrayed as a stereotypical jock, who takes pleasure in tormenting Peter and his friends. Manganiello captures Flash's arrogance and sense of entitlement with nuance and subtlety, making him a convincing antagonist in the story. Bill Nunn played the role of Robbie Robertson, the city editor of the Daily Bugle, who serves as a mentor and friend to Peter Parker throughout the film. Robertson is portrayed as a seasoned journalist, who takes a fatherly interest in Peter's development as a photographer. He brings a certain calm and wisdom to the role, and also captures Robertson's authority and professionalism with ease, making him a convincing newspaperman on screen, and a supportive and encouraging figure in the story. Gerry Becker played Maximilian Fargas, a wealthy businessman who funds a genetics research project which ultimately leads to the creation of the Green Goblin. Becker's portrayal of Fargas is one of the more minor aspects of the movie, as his character only appears briefly in a few scenes. But he captures Fargas' opportunistic and self-serving personality with nuance and subtlety. Fargas is portrayed as a businessman who is more interested in making a profit than in the ethical implications of his research. Jack Betts portrayed the character of Henry Balkan, the chairman of the board at Oscorp Technologies alongside Maximilian Fargas and the wealthy founder of the company, Norman Osborn. Balkan held a minor yet significant role in the film, and played a part in Osborn's transformation into the Green Goblin. He was also responsible for communicating to Osborn the board's decision of his forced resignation after selling the company to a competitor, and he was also the one who said the famous phrase, "You're out, Norman." Stanley Anderson played the role of General Slocum, the military leader who has the task of monitoring the development of the human performance enhancers that are being developed by Oscorp. During the film, the general is responsible to pressure Osborn to get his formula tested on humans, or he will take government investments to the competitor. Because of that, Norman tested the formula on himself to try to meet the deadline and not lose the investments, and thus, becoming the Green Goblin. Ron Perkins portrayed the character of Dr. Mendell Stromm, a brilliant scientist and former partner of Norman Osborn, who was working on developing a revolutionary new technology for Oscorp. Perkins' performance as Dr. Stromm is understated yet effective, portraying the character as a quiet and reserved scientist who is fully committed to his work. His scenes in the film are brief, but his presence is felt throughout the story, as his work on the technology ultimately leads to the creation of the Green Goblin. Michael Papajohn played Dennis Carradine, a small-time criminal, who was first introduced robbing a wrestling promoter in the locker room at a wrestling event. After that, Peter has the chance to stop him, but lets him escape as a form of revenge for the promoter not giving him all the money that had been agreed. He is then seen fleeing the scene, only to later be involved in the tragic incident that leads to the death of Peter Parker's Uncle Ben, setting off a chain of events that ultimately leads to Peter's transformation into Spider-Man. Bruce Campbell has a brief yet memorable role in Spider-Man. He plays the character of a wrestling ring announcer who gives Peter Parker his iconic moniker Spider-Man during a wrestling match. Campbell's performance as the ring announcer is charming and entertaining, with his witty commentary and over-the-top delivery adding to the fun and excitement of the scene. His presence also serves as a nod to director Sam Raimi's earlier work on the Evil Dead films, as Campbell is a frequent collaborator and friend of Raimi. Tobey Maguire's portrayal of Peter Parker and Spider-Man is widely regarded as one of the defining performances in the superhero genre. Maguire's sensitive and nuanced portrayal of the iconic character earned him critical acclaim and helped to make the film a box office success. He also imbues Spider-Man with a sense of humor and playfulness that make the character endearing and relatable to audiences of all ages. Maguire's chemistry with co-star Kirsten Dunst adds an emotional depth and complexity to the story. Kirsten Dunst brought to life the most popular version of Mary Jane Watson, one of pop culture's most beloved redheads. She is introduced as the girl next door who has been friends with Peter Parker since childhood. Mary Jane's character becomes more complex as we learn about her troubled home life, specifically her abusive father. Her relationship with Peter is complicated by his secret life as Spider-Man, and this brings us to one of the most memorable kissing scenes in cinema history, the upside-down kiss in the rain. Watching Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker in 2002 feels like a lifetime ago. But hey, at least Kirsten Dunst still looks just as beautiful today as she did back then, am I right? Anyway, if you laughed, cried, or just cringed a little during this then and now recap of Spider-Man, make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up with more content like this. And if you didn't like it, don't worry, we won't hold it against you. Much. See you in the next video. Over and out.